Hey everybody, welcome to the Pals Podcast. My name is George Boutsalis.
And I'm your other pal, Ricky Liordi.
Before you go any farther, we have one thing to say. Thanks so much to everybody who was tuned in and coming back to tune in again. We love you all and thank you for the support. For those of you who are new listeners, we ask one thing. Please take a second to go like, subscribe, and follow the Pals Podcast. You can do so on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, every social. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And we'd like to give a special shout out to the people who keep the lights on for us, our sponsors. First is our presenting sponsor, Kingsville Brewery. Guys, we've been drinking this beer for the last probably 6 months now, and it is amazing. Most of you know me and Georgie aren't big beer drinkers, but this stuff goes down great. Premium, light, refreshing, perfect for the cottage, summer drinks with your friends, or hanging out and listening to the pals. They're available now for GTA delivery through Profile Wine Group. So definitely check them out. You can get it delivered directly to your door for a very cheap cost. So definitely check that out. And guys, again, if you haven't drank this, give it a shot because it is so, so good. So special shout out to them and give them a follow on Instagram and all of the socials at Kingsville Brewery. And Georgie, tell them about our other sponsor.
If you don't know, you're about to know. Our next sponsor is our baby, our passion project turned global social media app, taking over the world and fixing social media one vote at a time, Cast. Guys, I'm going to tell you what Cast is. Cast is a social voting app. We're on a mission to create a safe space to share your honest opinion and see an instant snapshot of what people really think. We're turning bystanders into active participants in every conversation. Now, you might say, George, doesn't social media like that already exist? Well, the answer is no, and you'd be wrong. Guys, there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. Social media has become a place filled with subjective data, dishonest opinions, and biased narratives. We're bringing objective truth, honesty, and transparency to social media to create a real representation of what people really think. If you want to check out Cast and get on today and be part of the conversation, you can go to www.joincast.co/download. You can find Cast on the App Store and the Play Store. Just look for the purple C. And that's all. Without further ado, LFG.
Let's go. After the episode, we're always in a rush. We end up just hanging out half the time.
Right.
So we said, maybe we do the intro right at the beginning. So when we start, it's like, hey, are we good? Yeah, we're recording. Okay. We're trying a new intro, guys. So,
new intro, new music.
New music, we're a lot of things. So this episode, we have a very exciting guest on. You may recognize him from the Air Canada Centre, aka the now Scotiabank Arena. He is the resident DJ for the Toronto Raptors. He's also been DJing for probably about 15 or so years, give or take.
Give or take.
Toronto legend.
If you went to any nightclubs in Toronto over the course of the last 10 to 15 years, you've definitely seen this man. He goes by 4Korners. And welcome to the Pals Podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is a cool spot. I see the Richardi follow your hearts.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Richardi literally just FaceTimed me on the way down. I was like, man,
shit.
I've got a million things happening. I got to call you back, man. I'm stressed right now, stuck in traffic. But
he's a good dude.
Very good guy.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with him right before right when he quit his day job.
Really?
That's when I met him. He's like,
you've known for a long time.
Quit my day job and I'm diving into art full time and I got to do it. I hope. And then he made me a sick jacket. I should have worn it today. He made me a sick jacket.
No shit.
And since then, you see what he does.
He's killing it.
You see what he does.
Honestly, great guy. Like his energy is great. I didn't know him at all really before. Like I kind of knew how this kind of came about. Like Ricky knew him and
no, I didn't.
Oh,
I never met him.
How did you guys
know? So when we came into the show, I always saw him.
Before we go, but you know why I love him too? Because if we shout him on this episode, I don't know, do you send it to him or does he listen? Like,
a lot of times he just listens.
Yeah, because he'll message me like, thanks for the shout out. One episode, just before we get to this, we were talking about his son AJ, and I see his videos playing baseball. I'm like, this kid is fucking incredible.
Already.
Incredible. Like, and I played baseball too growing up, so like I see Richard played baseball too.
Yeah.
But I see his son play, and I'm like, man, this is so cool. Like, and he seems super talented, but he seems so nice and he's cute. And I said it one episode, and he DMs me, he's like, thanks for the shout out. And thanks for giving AJ the shout out. I was like, of course, man. Like, that's also why I love the guy. Like, he's got a million things going on, and he still finds time to like.
He's a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah,
for real.
But sorry, anyway, so how did you?
I've known about him for a while, and I've always loved his art, and I thought it was amazing. I'm not an art collector. I can't afford the expensive pieces by any means.
Yeah.
So when we got to space, I was like, I always wanted him to do something for me. And then we had this spot, and I was like, okay, we don't make any money with this podcast. We can't afford to pay him. But I'm like, look, why don't we get you on the podcast? We'll talk about it, do an installation, because we have like pretty notable guests coming through our podcast, and plus now that we have a studio, it legitimizes it. So I'm like, look, do this. We get like 1,000, 2,000 views on YouTube. Plus we have like cool people coming in. And he's like, I love it. I'm in. I'm like, sick. So he came in. We actually got lucky because he had just taken these hearts down from the installation at Yorkdale. So perfect. It's like literally, he's like, he was going to do a mural. He had it all planned out. He's like, Rick, I've got something different planned. I've never done it. It might work. And, it came out beautiful.
That shit worked out.
Honestly,
big up, Rich.
Yeah. Honestly, great guy. Shout out, Rich. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
But Kirk, actually, do we go by Kirk? Do we go by 4Korners?
Yeah, Kirk. It's weird. I feel like it's weird to introduce myself as 4Korners. Or respond to 4Korners in conversation. So yes, please call me Kirk.
Okay. More like when you're out and people bump into you, they'll be like, hey, 4Korners.
Well, people who don't, that's how I know who knows me, and who knows me knows me.
Yeah.
If they call me Kirk, they know me.
Yeah.
Or they pay attention because it says Kirk on my Instagram.
Okay.
If they call
Most people don't pay attention.
That's honestly very true. Most people don't pay attention.
Very true.
A lot of people don't pay. I'm guilty of that, man. I don't pay attention to that shit. You don't realize how like you just kind of go through life. Like
you got to pay attention,
everyone,
man.
You don't notice
Detail
the little things.
The little things.
Yeah.
Detail matters.
Well, sorry, like even how this whole started. Like I saw you on Ernesto's podcast the other day too, and we saw you just randomly walking down the street. Me and Georgie walked down. I'm like, I feel like that's Kirk.
Yeah. He looks at me. He's like, I think that's Kirk. I was like,
I'm like, I haven't seen him in like 5 or 6 years, but I'm like, yo,
the universe.
I literally was just like, yo,
man.
what's
the
up?
universe conspires, man. It brings people together.
That's it.
Exactly.
And it's kind of perfect time because you got some new music on the way as well.
I do. I'm dropping a new record in 2 weeks. It's called Won't Put You Through That. It's a new project that I'm doing, actually, aside from 4Korners. Well, in conjunction with, but aside from. It's called 401 West, and it's a house music project with a partner named Ashton Adams.
Okay.
And we dropped an EP late last year. It's been weird releasing music during the pandemic. Can't do any shows.
Can't
really get out and promote. It's just all like
online.
Social media.
Yeah.
Online. YouTube. We did some virtual shows, whatever, which is great. It's a happy accident that it's this point in history that we're able to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if this should happen like 20 years ago, what would we do?
Oh, you'd be
What would we have been doing?
You'd be doing crossword searches at your house,
like,
and that's
bro,
it.
You're playing music for your family
Like,
members.
people
that's
have been
it.
going bonkers as is. Imagine if we didn't have the internet like it is today.
Oh, it's true.
Like, wow. So thankful for all of what we've been able to do, but excited to be outside now and be able to actually present this music. So we got this record dropping in 2 weeks. It's featuring Zach Zoya, which is a really talented artist out of Montreal, the Montreal area, not specifically Montreal. He'd be mad if I said he's from Montreal. He signed to Universal Music. Cardinal Official is the one that signed him, and he's like super behind him. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Very good.
And I literally just finished a remix of it like 30 minutes ago. That's why I was listening on my phone when you
I heard that. I was listening. I was like, this is a good vibe. And I was like setting up. I'm like rushing. So again, talking about not paying attention. I'm like trying to listen and I'm trying to set everything up. We're like running late today. And yeah, man, it sounds great. But before we go on to that more, so you said the name's you go by 401 West for this.
The group is called 401 West.
Okay. How did that come about?
Well, I've been working on music with Ashton for a couple years now. We've done a couple records together already. And we just got into these conversations about house music and how much we both love it. And I didn't know how much he loved house, but I've always been into house. Since I was a kid watching like Much Music, seeing like Inner City.
Much Music's coming back.
I know. We'll talk about that too.
Okay, we'll get to that.
It's kind of coming back.
Yeah, kind of coming back. Okay, we'll get to that after. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching all these videos like Inner City and Alias and like the Jungle Brothers, Frankie Knuckles, all these things when I was a kid growing up. And I just always loved house music. When I got into the club scene, I got into like I hate calling it the urban. I hate the word urban. Urban means city.
Yeah.
As opposed to what, rural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I teach you for the rural crowd.
Right. You know what I mean? I came up in black clubs, black parties where black music was played. And it was hip hop, R&B, reggae, calypso, soca, and house. And a lot of people don't understand that house is black music. Like black people invented house
Detroit,
music.
right?
Yeah. Chicago, Detroit, New York, and then it spread around the world.
Yeah.
So there was always a house set. And I loved the shit. But over the years, it's kind of just like it's so global now and everybody's involved. So like that essence has kind of been lost. And I feel like people don't even know the pioneers. I read an article in, I think it was Complex, one of those publications, about Kevin Saunderson, who's like one of the foundation guys of house music, talking to bookers now, and they don't know who the hell he is. And they book dance music shows. You know what I mean? That would be like I don't know, booking hip hop and you don't know who LL Cool J is.
Yeah.
Like, you have to know. Like, you got to know who Run DMC is. Like,
Where
you
the
have
roots
to
come
know
from. Yeah.
who Tribe Called Quest is. You have to know these things. You can't just know the current artists.
big names.
Yeah. 100%. Like, that's the one thing. And it's funny, like, because I obviously used to DJ as well. And when I got into it, it was around the time of, like, and we've played a few shows back in the day. When I was like, I mean, not that I was anybody, but when I was really like just like in university playing Ricky and Alexander's club shows for Crown Entertainment and for Mickey and Maddie and those guys.
Yeah.
But when I started, like, I came up listening to, like, that was when, like, Swedish House Mafia was doing, like, One came out and whatever, Miami TVs. And, like, it was just, like, it was becoming way more mainstream. And I was one of those people that, like, didn't really know the roots of it. And I remember it was after a couple of years of really being into it. I was like, okay, like, started to find out who, like, Felix the House Cat was and some other guys from Detroit.
Oh, Felix the House
and then I saw that there was that Movement Detroit Festival.
Yeah.
And I remember a friend going and showing a video, and like I remember in that time I was like seeing more Detroit house. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And then somebody told me like that's where like house started, like Detroit and Chicago and those places.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I was like naive to it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now how even more so. I feel like back when I was like when I just found this out, I was like the naive one. A lot of people knew this, but I feel like now to your point, like not a lot of people would know.
Like people in the business of house music don't know where house music came from, and that's weird to me. So that's part of why we started it. We were just like, yo, people need to know this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we started working on some records, specifically house records, and we just started piling them up. We're like, yo, we should do a project. And it just turned into, you know what, we should make it a group. And then we should make it a movement. So now we're really doing it. And we dropped a 3-song EP late last year, which is doing really well.
Nice.
And now we're about to drop. This is the first single of this year, period, that I'm dropping. So I'm really excited. I took a step back because, again, it's just been weird releasing music during the pandemic. I was DJing on Twitch a lot, just live streaming.
Sick.
Just to like feel something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stay in the rhythm and the groove and everything.
Yeah, because like I didn't for a long time. And when I started again, I was like, shit, I'm rusty.
Yeah.
Like I've never not DJ'd for a month on end.
You're probably playing
in
like
my
3
whole
to
since I
5
started
shows a week.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like since I started DJing, there's never been a time that I haven't like, dude, I'm playing in Calgary in 3 weeks. That's the first time I'm going to be on a plane in a year and a half. I'm normally on a plane like weekly.
I get it.
So this whole year is like throwing me and everybody else for a loop. But I'm happy that we're back outside. We're doing stuff. I'm happy we're able to do this and not do this on like Zoom.
Yeah.
We did a whole bunch on Zoom. And don't get me wrong, we had some amazing guests and amazing conversations. But it's just different.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
we all had to do what we had to do. You don't stop the show.
So the way I describe it is when we're doing it and when we do them in person, it's a conversation. It's fun. You know, we can chime in, there's friendly banter or whatever.
Yeah.
When it's done via Zoom, it's an interview. It is strictly an interview. You ask a question, they answer, and then you try and make a little joke, but they didn't hear you because it only picks up one person talking at a time, and you're like, and they're like, oh, sorry, what'd you say? Or me and George, we look at each other like, are you? I'll go.
It's weird. Like it's like pauses and delays and all that shit.
It's not natural. This is natural.
Yeah,
being
absolutely.
with people, humans need to be around humans. This is natural. So
absolutely.
I need to get in front of people and see them dance to this music.
You nervous for your first show back?
No, actually, I mean,
like first big show. Like it's gonna
I was gonna say I played at when you guys saw me last week. I was actually just heading back from soundcheck. I played at the Adidas store.
Oh, cool.
For a Juneteenth event. That Saturday.
Cool.
And it was cool to just like it was just a store.
Yeah.
But I mean, they paid me properly.
There you go. I saw you had a nice big Adidas bag. Like, this guy got some. This guy got some.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah.
See, talk about not noticing things. I did not notice that.
Yeah. Proper bag and a full proper bag.
They
got paid.
Secured the bag.
But it was cool to like play in a room with human beings versus playing in the basement looking at a camera.
Yeah.
So that was good. But my first big stage show, I'm so looking forward to it, is this coming Wednesday at City View Drive-In.
Okay,
It's
that's
called
so this coming Wednesday will be
This is
June
releasing
30th.
Yeah.
This is releasing
June-
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's June 30th.
June 30th, yeah.
So for the long weekend, perfect. No, yeah, the day before the long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can booze it up. They don't got to work the next day.
It's going to be amazing.
If you're listening to this right now, the show's will be 2 days from now. June 30th.
June
Get out
30th.
there. Get out there and go
City
see a
View
play.
Drive-In. It's already sold out. It's a free concert.
Oh, shit. So people can't even go if they want to go.
And the tickets went in 3 minutes.
All right, so if you're listening to this, stand outside the fences.
Hope you already got your ticket.
Yeah, hope you got them, or you can hopefully see it from the distance.
That just goes to prove how much people just want live interaction again.
Absolutely.
You know, they just want to be around people, see music, anything.
Yep.
They're itching.
Interaction, like enjoyment with people. Like we've all done our best. We really have. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of everybody who's made it this far.
Yeah.
Without like, you know, totally quitting what we do, because I know a lot of people that just didn't make it through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the creative people that do creative things, that had to do other things because necessity. You gotta keep the lights on.
Yeah, you know what I didn't even think about until right this second? Think about how many amazing musicians and artists that the world will never see because they had to quit their dreams because they couldn't survive anymore.
Right.
You know, that they just had to, okay, I can't be a DJ anymore because I was only playing 3 or 4 shows a month and I was able to pay rent. Now I can't
so I gotta
pay
get
rent.
a different job.
My social media is not big enough to do that kind of stuff. So now I got a desk job.
Yeah.
Or now I'm selling something, or I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Their dreams on hold.
There's
now.
a lot.
And once you put it on hold, it's tough to pick it back up again.
It is.
It's tough.
It is. So I feel for them. I'm blessed and happy that I've like built up enough prior to this that I was able to maintain, do some cool stuff during, and like come out swinging after. But I mean, I say this all the time. Anyone who's following their dreams, still do that shit. Like even if you have to do something else, still do it a little bit and like work to it to the point where it can tip over.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I agree with that. Like you have to still chase that. Like I say this a few times. I've said it on this episode. I'm a big fan of the book The Alchemist. And I really think that if you chase your personal legend, like as long as you're continuing to chase it, the world will still conspire to like help you on the way. It'll take longer, but like, man, there's one part in that book that really hit me hard, like really changed how I look at things. And it's like, it's the part where a guy's like in the desert and he wants to stay for the girl, and the girl's like, no, you have to go, or if you don't, after a year you'll still be hungry to chase your dream, and they'll give up on the dream. You'll resent me. This stuff, like people, like that's the thing. To your point, just do it a little bit, because if you stop doing it, like. Both your points, like Ricky's like, you could stop theoretically, and they're giving it up because they can't do it, can't afford to do it, they got to pay the bills, have a job that's not flexible. But if you give it up entirely, you will always think forever, what if?
Yeah.
And like you have to. If you have a dream of something, you have to always just keep pursuing it. Dude, even if it's got to be on the side a little bit, don't stop.
It's a blessing to even recognize what your gift is and what your dreams are, and like, because a lot of people are still trying to figure that shit out. If you actually figure it out and you know what it is, you have to. You owe all of us the pleasure of enjoying what it is that you can bring to the world. So like, you got to do it.
Absolutely. That's great. I love that. That's so true. It doesn't matter what it is too, like even the creative space especially, but anything you do.
Yeah.
Shit, if you're a good stockbroker, that's your gift, and you figure like you have to do what you're put on this earth to do. And everyone I think figures that out at very different times in their life.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, hell, like we just launched a social media app pretty recently, and
we got to get you on it after.
Yeah, we launched a
you got to tell me about it.
Yeah, we launched Cast, a social voting app. Basically, in a nutshell, what we're trying to do is just we're trying to get more people to share their honest opinions online. Basically, turn like passive bystanders in conversations into active participants, because most people online don't share their opinions anymore for whatever reason it is. Fear of a lot of fears. We just want to create a place that makes it easy for them to do so without those fears, but. Anyways, like that's always been a problem of ours for a long time. Like Ricky and I have talked about this, like back 2018, we talked about it. And, in terms of like chasing your personal legend, like, I had a job that I loved. I worked for my family business, loved what I did, worked with my family, was amazing. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure Ricky loved what he did too, same kind of situation. And then when COVID hit, my business obviously was still like, we were in cleaning, so it kept going, but like I had a lot more time on my hands.
Right.
So when it first started, I was playing video games and stuff. Like I would like play Call of Duty, Warzone, whatever in the evenings, work out maybe a little bit, but like not super anything really productive to produce.
But also, you didn't know how long this was going to last.
Exactly.
Right?
Very true. Very true as well. But then at one point, like it started to come back to me, this idea, kind of dawned on me, like a sign from God, like was like, remember this idea? Someone mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh, it's a good idea. Started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? And I literally was just reading The Alchemist or picking it up, and I was like, man, I feel like if I don't do this now, like this is a sign that I need to do this. Whether it succeeds or fails, I mean, we believe it's going to succeed. Whether it succeeds or fails, we owe it to ourselves and the people that we're trying to solve this problem for, and people like us, to pursue this, regardless of what happens.
Agreed.
And we just started moving in the right direction, little by little, figured it all on the way, and Like 5 months later, we had an app. 7 months later, we're on the App Store. We just secured our first round of funding. Like,
Dope.
but we just started going. Like, we kept hearing the voice, like, you can't stop no matter what. Like, you have roadblocks, you have this. And there's every reason to quit. And honestly, so yeah, I guess like the message is for anybody, and often I don't like often do this, like give piece of advice, but like, yeah, man, just whatever you're put on this earth to do, whenever you figure it out, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself more than anybody,
Yeah.
but you also owe it to the world as well, because you like if you can give something to the world that's like a gift or a talent, whatever, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's my TED talk.
I saw something Jay-Z said recently. It was exactly along those lines. It's like, success is not the goal. The goal is to, like, whatever it is that your gift is, to live through that. If you can live through the gift, the God-given gift that you have, that's going to make the world a better place. You got to do that shit. You know what I mean? And whatever
Absolutely.
success means to you will come in that, because you're doing the thing that you're meant to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like.
I believe
really
that
realize,
shit.
Yeah, and not just that too. You'll be insanely happy you're doing what you love.
That's right.
If you make no money but you're doing what you love, like hell, man. Like I mean, again, to this point, like we've bootstrapped our company, so we put our money into this. So like, hell, like we have a lot on the line. At the end of the day, like I don't sweat, I don't get scared, because I'm like, I've never felt so free. I was like, oh, like to me, it's not about the money. Like I get to come in here every day with my two of my best friends and the amazing team. I get to wear shorts and like a t-shirt. Like, I used to wear a suit every day. Not that I don't like wearing suits, but like
Nobody likes wearing suits, man.
True.
All the time, no. Sometimes
someone stylish like you.
Sometimes, yeah. But all the time, like when you have to,
it's not exactly. If you have to, it's not as fun.
Nah,
but that
that
thing
ain't
is
it.
too, like the last, just you can jump in.
Yeah.
Is like, we're not making a dime. We're losing. Like if anything, we lose money on a daily basis.
right, but you're happy.
Oh my God. I said to anybody, I'm like, I don't care if this becomes the next Twitter or Facebook. That's the dream, but I don't care. As long as I can do what I'm doing now every day, be around people that I love, doing something that could change the world for the better, and like get to do this, read, have free time. Like that's all I care about. I don't like that's all that
What else
matters.
matters?
And
Yeah.
to kind of touch on that even more, when you said it's like not about making money, it's like if you do something you love and you work your ass off at it, you will make money. I strongly believe that. Like you say, okay, you can give me the dumbest example, like let's say plumber. If you love being a plumber and you work your ass off and you're good at it, you will make money. It's just how it goes. If you are consistent, and I'm big on this consistency, you do something day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, you will become good at it. No matter how much you suck at the beginning, you will become good at it. If you become good at it, you will make money, and you'll be able to love it even more. And another thing, even kind of going a little bit back on this, you mentioned something about kind of your personal legend. A big thing for me is perseverance. If you persevere, you will beat like any obstacles that are put in your way, because it's just, that's what life's about. It's about perseverance, and consistency. If anything, those are my big two. Like I do my lives every Wednesday to promote the app, and there's sometimes I've got like 6 people on. I'm like, this fucking sucks. I got 6 people. But I do it each and every week.
Yeah.
Every single week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. You better be watching this, guys. And like literally, there's times where I've had like 8 people. Then there's other times where I got 80. And I'm like, all it takes is that one right person to watch it that says, hey, you know what? This is exactly what I need right now in my life. I'm going to download this app. Or one random person who knows someone else that ends up getting 10 other friends on or something. It doesn't hurt. But I do it each and every week. And the idea is that if you stay consistent, you will eventually my weekly shows will get better.
Yep.
Right now, some of them are good, some of them are kind of shit. But you keep doing them week in and week out, and they'll get better. And that's like anything you do in life. If you do it consistently, you will become good at it.
You will get better at doing it. Your presentation will be better.
Yeah.
You'll be tighter with it. But also, you can't start something. You can't expect to start something with everybody ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. You got to boil a pot of water and then boil another pot and another. But you can't boil a lake. You can't boil an ocean. But if you like bit by bit, once you gather it up, you will have that gigantic body of water that you want. Like people will be on board because they were there for the journey.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, or I think people are preaching a lot now. It's like you don't have to be perfect on day one.
Yeah.
People actually enjoy watching you suck and get better.
Absolutely.
Because they can say, yo, I was there when they sucked.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're a part of your journey, and they're that much more invested in what it is that you do.
Yeah, it's like when people are always looking for that next great musician.
Yeah.
Oh, I was around before he released that album.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to watch him when he played at Mod Club or whatever. You know what I mean?
I just hate when people get pissed off. They're like, "Oh man, he sold out. He's like playing the stadium now." I remember we used to play. It's like, you don't want your favorite artist to make money?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you were that artist, you're not going to take $10 million to play for their show.
Right?
Shut up. You were 100%.
You should be happy that
No
they blew
one
up.
would not, like, not no one. There's probably some who do it for the artistic. There's probably some, like, artists that, like, I'm going to be obscure and for the integrity. But 99.9% of people, if they did get offered that opportunity, you take
you
it.
want to
Because
grow.
it's not just about the money. It's about playing in front of
More people.
Yeah.
And getting your music out to
More people.
Oh.
And then even if you think about this, like, The Weeknd's the best example. How many people have said, "Oh, I was listening to The Weeknd during House of Balloons"?
Yeah, cool.
Or
Great.
during-
Oh, I
when
didn't
he-
even. I remember someone went to a show at
Mod Club. Remember
no,
he did
not
the
Mod,
back-to-back days at Mod?
Didn't he play at Sound Academy?
That-
maybe.
oh, when he did 9 shows back to back.
Yeah,
Something.
that was
I remember
after.
a friend went. I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Mod Club was first. That
Yeah,
was
that was
his
his very
first show.
first
That's when
show.
like Drake just like shouted him out on Twitter or something. And that was when House of Balloons just dropped,
Uh-huh.
and he did back-to-back shows and they sold out in literally
And nobody even
minutes.
knew who he was at that
Nobody
time.
knew what he looked like. There was no pictures of him online.
I know a lot of Weeknd or like original Weeknd fans that don't like him anymore because
His sound has changed.
he's
right?
like he's changed and he's not. It's like
Still puts out
number one,
bangers.
he's grown up.
Yeah, puts out bangers.
Number 2, he's made a lot of money. Number 3, he's very successful. He's not couch surfing, taking drugs anymore. So the songs are not going to be about that.
Yeah, it's true.
Let the man live. Let him grow. I'm happy for the dude, man. He's one of the
Absolutely.
biggest artists ever.
Anybody from the
He's
city
one.
that-
I've seen him live just by. I've gone a couple concerts, but I've seen him at a couple festivals too. Like I think he is one, maybe one of a bunch. But in terms of like R&B, I guess that's what he would be.
Yeah.
His voice sounds the same live as
Oh,
the
yeah.
record, which is
Oh,
crazy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I remember seeing him at Coachella and Scotiabank Arena,
Yeah.
and like I'm like, oh,
You can't
something's
tell.
a CD on.
You can't tell if he's lip syncing.
No, he's actually just a great singer.
Yeah,
It's like
it
Adele.
seems like he'd be a bit of a douche, but super talented. Like, no offense, Weeknd, you want to come on here, we'll have you anytime. But he seems like when you get that big, you're a bit like stuck up a little bit.
And no comment.
Yeah, not
on the-
he does seem like he super talented. But
On that topic, who's, I guess, some of the coolest people you've got to play alongside with?
Oh man, the list is
Like
ridiculous.
who's give us some of your favorites?
Snoop Dogg was great. I remember doing a few concerts with Snoop Dogg, and beyond the fact that he's awesome, the food backstage was
Bro, this is music to this
chef
guy's
kiss.
ears right now.
Holy! I've never seen a bigger bowl of pudding in my life.
pudding?
Yes, it's a gigantic bowl like this big of butterscotch pudding, and I love butterscotch pudding.
Come
And
on.
it was amazing. You just shovel it onto your thing. Anyway, that
So
was
that's
cool.
part of his rider, or just
That,
like
his
that.
rider was amazing. His rider was amazing.
The guy always looks like he weighs 100
George,
pounds
that
soaking
would- that
wet
would
too,
be-
eh?
I know his
That would be your
metabolism is
rider.
off the charts. He
Oh,
does-
my rider would have honestly all food, like the craziest food for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, Snoop. I've done shows with a lot, man. I DJ'd Kanye's first ever show in Canada.
Wow.
sick.
It was at Rebel, which was the docks at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
It's probably like what, 08, 07, 06?
Something like that.
Maybe even earlier.
No, earlier than that. Earlier,
Yeah.
like 05-ish,
Yeah.
maybe. Whenever College Dropout came out.
Probably
Fact
around-
check us. Whenever College Dropout came out.
This is why we need our
Yeah,
And
manager.
our
Yeah,
manager's
she's
not
not
here.
here.
Danielle's not here right now. She could have.
She'd be like Googling that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I'll do it. I got this. That's why I keep the phone here.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of shows with Drake, of course. Paris Hilton's fun. Done a few shows with her.
Crazy.
Yeah, a bunch, man. Honestly, there's like
There's a
too
lot.
many.
05,
Even
College
over the, yeah.
But I've had a great time doing that. I'm looking forward to getting back to that, man.
That's awesome, man.
It's been ridiculous being at home.
You've always loved like doing this. Like you always knew you wanted to like.
No,
Really?
I didn't always know. I wanted to be a writer. Like I went to York University to be a writer, and while there, I discovered DJ culture and party culture and like nightlife and all that.
Sorry, a music writer or like a book writer?
like a journalist.
Journalist?
I wrote poetry. Like just
Okay.
writing was always my thing. English class was always my favorite. All my teachers like, you're gonna be a writer.
Wow.
And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't absolutely sure that's what I wanted to do, but all signs were leading me there. And just like The Alchemist, I was like, well, let me follow the signs and see where it takes me. And it's good that I went there because it was at York that I discovered they used to throw like these crazy parties in like the giant dining halls, and they had big DJs from the city play there. And it was there that I discovered nightlife and fell in love with DJ culture. And like before that, I only knew about like Jazzy Jeff and Jam Master Jay. Like my idea of a DJ before that was like you were with a rapper, or you were like in a competition,
like vinyl scratching.
Yeah, like the DMCs, stuff. Like doing high technical. Like scratch shit, or you were like the DJ that backed up a rapper and you were on tour. I didn't really know about the party scene. I obviously know about parties, but I didn't know about like the importance of a DJ in a party, and like there was a whole thing.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that world at all until I went to university and stumbled upon it, fell in love with it, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And I dropped out of York and started DJing, and never looked back.
That's crazy.
Follow your dreams, man.
Yeah, man. I fell in love with it. I was like doing it. Like my dad had turntables in the basement and a shitty mixer, and he had tons of records, and I just like messed around with the records, and I couldn't stop. And I'd like get down in the basement like 9 p.m. I'd look up, it'd be like 6 a.m. I'm still having the time of my life by myself in the headphones because like I can't play the music loud.
Come on.
And I was like, yeah, obviously I have to do this. I just got to figure out how it works.
So when did you came up? Like when was like around what time for your university-ish? Like when you first
This
started?
was like late 90s.
Wow. So the club scene in Toronto was not, there was still obviously there's clubs in Toronto, but the scene was different.
It was different. The club scene that I grew up in at that time before I was a DJ, it wasn't even, again, like I knew there were nightclubs. And there definitely were like some notable nightclubs at the time. I couldn't tell you what they were because all the parties that I went to were at like banquet halls, at the universities and colleges, that's where all the black parties were. Like they didn't have hip hop in the mainstream clubs.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't until a bit later that happened. And I was part of what like made that happen, to be honest, because it wasn't happening. But that shit was amazing. Like there'd be like a banquet hall in Markham with 1,000 people jamming, and it'd be like a sick DJ lineup, and it was amazing. And I fell in love with it, and I couldn't think of anything else. So I just dove in, just trying to figure out how to get my foot in the door and like how to figure this shit out. And you couldn't watch YouTube and learn how to do anything at that time. So I just had to like get some. I had luckily made some friends and like had some really good mentors that showed me the flexes that I needed to. You know what I mean? And I coupled that with just common sense and what I thought were good ideas, and like lending my talents to people. Like I'd show up at 9:30 to help carry the big DJs crates in, so that they like me get in for free and like hang out, so I could like be in the DJ booth and like pay attention, observe, try to learn, and then go home and try to do what I saw him do. Like shit like that.
See, that's the kind of shit like people
don't do
like,
that
that shit doesn't happen. Like, what?
It's different.
It probably does. I don't want to. I don't generalize because like we see a different side of it. You know, we go to the club, you see like everyone wants to be the big shot. Like I used to do it. Me hogging people's headphones when I was coming up at Western. I just opened for like a Lesso. Fuck, I'm gonna carry your shit. But like I was a nobody still relative to like everything else. But like everybody now is like, you know, I want to. Can I open? Can I play this? I have this set. Well, like you don't see people like
instant gratification is what it is now. At that time too, like early 2000s, there was no really a bottle service. Like that shit came about a little bit later.
Side note, random. Did you ever DJ at that club in the CN Tower?
Yeah,
I heard that place was sick.
Do you know? Did you know he did or no?
No, I was asking.
No, I did. There
was a club in CN Tower.
Yeah. Well, it's not a club per se. It's like I did a Grey Cup party when the Grey Cup was in Toronto one time. They had this amazing party in the entire CN Tower. Like when you walked in, I never seen any shit like this before in my life. When you walked in, they had, you know how they always have promo models for things like that? There was like 2,000 girls lining from you walk in, winding all the way to the elevator, just like on both sides.
Next time I want a +1.
What Grey Cup was this? Was it like
this was
a
like
decade ago, maybe.
Yeah,
it's
2010-ish.
There was the one that they had one here. It was in our lifetime. Like recent lifetime.
Because there used to be an actual club in the CN Tower, like a club, like back in the day, in like the late
I don't know
90s.
about that.
Or maybe like the 80s, 90s when it first
I
early.
don't think CN Tower was up until the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh. No, CN Tower was built in the 70s.
70s, yeah,
late 70s. Yeah, my grandmother told me she remembers when they were building it.
Yeah. Imagine seeing that get built.
My dad
exploded my mind.
It's crazy. It still looks cool. Like it doesn't look old.
My dad says he remembers when they had to helicopter the last top few pieces.
See what I'm saying? Like that's like
There's
mind
no crane that
blowing
was
to
big
me
enough.
because I'm from here.
That's crazy. No, today there's no crane big enough, is there?
I doubt it.
It's crazy.
No, cranes.
Yeah, no.
They had to helicopter.
Right.
Even if they were building it now, they'd have to do it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. It's fucking
That
crazy.
shit's, yeah, it's amazing.
I wanted to ask what you were talking about the shows and the banquet. The question that I don't know if you've ever been asked before. What's the first paid show you ever played, and how much did you get paid?
The first, I don't know if where the first actual like getting paid anything was, but I remember the first what I thought was a big show was at a club called Stages in Kitchener.
Yeah, it's still around there.
Kingston
is Stages.
No, there's a Stages in Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
The one in Kitchener, I don't think it's there anymore.
Okay.
But it was a pop-in spot at the time. I used to go out there before I was like DJing anywhere. Me and my boys used to always go out of town to like go to parties because the girls don't know us over there. So like, let's go there.
Oh, smart.
Too many girls. We know these ones. Let's go to Burlington. Let's go to Kitchener. We did that shit. And
get a hotel for the night.
yeah, you know what I mean? Do it up. So we used to go to Kitchener all the time, and then I got this opportunity to play at this club out there, and I had a partner at the time, and I remember we got paid $300, and we were stoked. We were fucking $150 each, and we were like, yes, we made it. It's amazing.
Now you're at Adidas. You're like, yeah.
Now I'm like, if somebody were to pick up the phone and call me to do something for $300, they're like, you called the wrong person.
I should have called me 20 years ago.
No, I mean, like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to act like I'm too big or anything, but like, I'm not sure you understand who you're calling. No. That's you work for it though. I've earned it.
Yeah,
I've earned
100%.
it. At that time, that was great because honestly, I would have did it for free. It was a poppin' massive club, like a 2-level, looking down on the crowd, like 50-foot ceiling type room, and I would go there all the time and just have fun as a patron. To be able to be the one DJing was a huge deal. You know what I mean? And like that was like the first of many, but it was like I would never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Okay, so then follow-up question. What's your most memorable show or set you've ever played?
People always ask me that.
It's a generic question.
No. It's a legit question. I just really don't have one answer for that because I've done a lot of I've been blessed, dude. I worked hard and done this for a long time. You said 15 years. I've actually been DJing for 25 years.
Holy shit!
Fuck.
That's that's counting like in the basement, like when I started. Before I was like really playing anywhere, but
Well, it still counts when you start.
it counts. Like I remember I was making mixtapes. I was selling mixtapes hand to hand at school. I got like them in a few stores. Like that's when I consider my DJ career started. I sucked, but I was doing it. And I was loving every minute.
You were
of it.
working hard. And
Yeah.
you were being consistent.
Well, actually, that reminds me of one thing that I was going to say earlier. We were talking about being with people from the beginning when they suck. On the other, that's great as a fan perspective. But one of the other things too, I think, for like people who are creators in any industry, doesn't matter what you do, people who create something who want to release it to the world but are scared to because it sucks.
Yeah.
On the other side, people are scared to like take a leap or like pursue their dream or pursue their passion or do anything because they're worried, oh, people are going to think this sucks. And they're kind of like embarrassed, to put something out. Man, you honestly, like, if you like, the easiest example I can think of when you're sticking with an artist, like, okay, Bieber's always been talented, but you think the YouTube videos of him like singing in a basement, like, like everyone at some point is bad.
Yeah.
No matter what,
100%.
like it's bad is relative. But if you look at where they started to where they got to, like Bieber is ultra talented.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like, he was good compared to like me singing, but it's not the same as now.
But
like,
even as talented as he was still sitting on a the steps in Stratford, Ontario, just playing as people walk by. There's no crowd. There's no show. He was just, I love doing this and I want to do it.
And you have to start like you just have to start like the biggest thing. I was actually listening to some like podcast over here, and it said something that I actually really believe. It's like the biggest thing is like motion. Just move forward, take a step and go. Like people plan, I'm gonna get better, then I'll release it. No, because then you're gonna get a little better, and you say, oh, I still sound bad now relative to now. You just have to go out there, and the people that there's the ones that get lucky and they're ultra talented. They release one thing, it's a hit. But for the most part, it's incremental progress, like day over day, right?
Momentum.
People like to see it on the other side because people root for you. Then they're like, oh, this person is taking a chance. As a fan, I love it. Like, again, you could be pursuing anything, finance, music, or whatever it is. People want to see you start from the beginning and work. The ones who are going to make fun of you for being shit are going to make fun of you when you're good anyways. Yeah. So don't worry about those. Just make little progress. Go ahead, Ricky.
I literally just said this the other day, like, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
If you miss, if you suck, who cares? Nobody will remember you. Like, let's talk about, this is one of the best examples of shooting your shot, I think. Rebecca Black, It's Friday. Terrible song.
Yep.
Terrible song.
What?
Life changing.
Massive
Life
moment for her.
changing. It's Friday,
Oh,
gonna get
Forgot
down
about
on
that
Friday.
song. What a
So that
bad
song was terrible.
You don't wanna drink anything?
No, I'm
No, I'm
okay.
good,
She released it,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucked, and she went viral, and she's still somewhat famous now.
Yep.
10 years later, and she still kept putting out more music.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, you got to remember too, there are so many interactions in a person's life on a daily basis that if you really suck, they're still probably not going to remember you. Like, if you're performing on a street corner and you're terrible, someone's gonna walk by, well, that guy sucked, and they're gonna keep walking, and you're not gonna they're not gonna think about you probably ever again.
Yeah, but I mean,
But if you
beyond
are
that-
good, or if you are their type, like that type of music that they like, and they like you, they will remember
right?
you again.
But I mean, beyond that, you shouldn't do things and live your life based on what people think anyway.
Yeah.
Like whether they remember you or not, that's on them.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing because you love it, and the people who will like what you do, they'll find you as long as you consistently keep doing it and putting it out there.
Absolutely.
You're giving them the opportunity to find you. Bieber got found because of YouTube.
Yep.
He's super talented, but his life probably wouldn't have gone the way that it has if he didn't post videos on YouTube.
His mom wasn't recording him with the little
Someone like
camcorder.
that now, like Johnny Orlando, he was on the podcast. I don't know the whole backstory how he started, but I remember him saying to us, he would just post and post. The videos were so bad. He would he laughed. They were terrible. It was like me and my sister singing, but I just kept posting and posting, and and then I grew to like 6 million followers, and it kept going, and like now he's a pretty big deal, and like could be the next big superstar. But he started just putting out stupid like joke videos, like make them singing, and that's it, and like did it consistently. You get better, it grows and grows, and you never know.
Dude, Shawn Mendes, same thing. Like I didn't know that's how his career started, but he started on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah,
and he was just posting videos. He's a good singer, but
Yeah.
he still had to like muster up the courage to do the thing and then put it out there and be like, let's see what happens. And he did a bunch of them consistently and was starting to build a fan base. And the moment when he realized, whoa, this is a thing, he said he was going to do a meetup at Yonge and Dundas, and like hundreds of kids came.
crazy.
If he wasn't doing those videos, if he didn't put himself out there, we wouldn't have a Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
You got to do the thing. You got to do the thing.
That's actually a good one. And another thing that like I kind of about being consistent, which is what Ricky's saying, is there's one saying that I actually really like, and it's kind of like vague, but it's there's a saying that goes, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And that literally, if you like really dissect it just means the more you do something, the more chance of you getting lucky, because there's a more likelihood of you getting more exposure. There's more chance of somebody coming across you. There's more chance of you being in the right circumstance, right time, right moment, whatever it is.
I got one for you on top of that.
Go.
Luck equals opportunity plus preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good
It's
one.
the same shit. Like if
100%.
you keep doing it, you're getting better while you're doing it,
Yeah.
but also you're putting yourself out there and giving people the opportunity to find you.
It's a
You
numbers
keep
game.
doing that shit, you're going to get lucky at some point.
Yeah.
When I used to be in sales in my old job, I literally my closing percent was like 5 to 7%. Anytime I had an offer out, it was like 5 to 7%. So I'm like, okay, I know that's my closing percent. Yeah, some weeks are better than others, but okay, so I need to get out 20 offers to make one deal.
Right.
Okay, so I just got to take 20
It's a numbers
shots.
game.
That's it. If I get 20 offers out, there's a very good chance I'm closing a deal this week. It's as simple as that. It's just a numbers game. If you're shooting 10% and you take one shot, good chance it's not going in. You take
Right.
10, good chance you're gonna get one in.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
There you go.
That's the thing. Like, no matter what, people like kind of was again all these things we're talking about, like how about putting stuff out there, being consistent. Everything ties to one thing, and like at the end of the day, it's just about just doing like motion, like doing the thing, like you said, just do what makes you happy. Do it little by little.
Yeah.
Listen, you might do it forever if you want to be a singer and and respectfully, you got no talent and you don't try to get better. You might not get discovered. So I'm not
That's
saying like
me.
just do it. But Ricky goes karaoke.
I could try. I could try as hard as I want. I could be as actually, you know what? I bet you if I tried every single day and I stuck
you
with it
would
for
get-
10 years,
If you want it to be your like calling, you probably would try very, very hard.
and I bet you I could be decent.
Yeah, 100%.
Decent,
I believe
yeah.
anyone
Yeah,
can
I
do
just think
anything.
True.
I believe anyone can do anything. You just have to comes easier to some people than others.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to put in the work, you can get good.
Yeah.
You might not be the best,
Or you can be successful.
but you can be successful.
Yeah.
You
And
can
successful is very subjective too, right?
It is. Absolutely it is.
Success to one person, like success to me for singing, I would want to just perform in front of 100 people. That'd be kind of cool for me.
Right.
And I've done it. Karaoke bars.
There
That'd be
you go.
success, right?
There you go. You know what's one thing I haven't done that I want to do? And it's like I'm kind of horrified, but also super excited.
Wait, let's guess.
Yeah, can you guess?
Is it involved DJing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna say
I got
DJing
my
like
guess.
I was gonna like DJing like a I don't know bar mitzvah or something.
No, I DJ anywhere.
Okay.
That's what
So
I do.
what? I don't know then. I can't have a guess.
Scuba diving,
No.
It's something that you wouldn't want. I don't know.
skydiving, bungee jumping.
Okay, those are all things I'm never gonna do.
Never. That's fine.
Never.
They're honestly fun.
Never. I know they are. I'm sure they are. I don't need that kind of danger in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, life is dangerous enough as it is. It's fine.
True.
I want to do a stand-up comedy show.
Love
Oh,
that.
sick.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love stand-up comedy. I talk a lot. I perform for a living.
You were a former writer.
You know what I mean? I was a writer.
That's part of it.
I think I'm funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
Hey,
I would. That's one of my like bucket list things.
Like
I
an
don't know
open-
when or where I'll do it, but I'm gonna do that.
Like an open mic night. Walk over, set it up, and do it. You're like proper.
Maybe an open mic night. Maybe I throw a show myself. I don't know.
the pals will be there.
Absolutely.
All
The
right.
pals will be
Wicked.
there.
Wicked. Maybe I'll suck. Maybe I'll be great.
Maybe we'll
I don't know.
Maybe we'll host the intro. We'll have every guest come out and do like a little quick 5 minutes
Yeah.
on every guest. We'll fire it up. We'll MC
And what
it.
we'll do is we'll line up something ahead of time. I'll sit front row looking weird so you can chirp me too. So you get a couple jokes
And
in
just
there.
bring your heaviest, loudest laughs that day.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll laugh.
No, but I said
Crazy
what's
out.
one thing like. I mean, I don't aspire to be a stand-up comedian for a living at any point. But it's just one of those things that I do. Like, it'd be cool to do. Like you're saying about singing, be cool to stand up and sing
Yeah.
in front of 100 people.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know what I mean?
That would be cool. I would come see that. I want to ask you on that note. Is there like who is like your inspiration or who is your comedian that like you?
Comedian? I love Eddie Murphy.
Oh, he's sick.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Genius.
I love Kevin Hart. I love Tiffany
Hustler.
Haddish. A few. I love John Mulaney.
Funny.
A few.
Honestly, Eddie Murphy. I'll never forget this. My cousins, my older cousins, Paul, Steven, and Michael. I remember I used to like look up to them because I had no older brother. I was the oldest of three, and I would like look to them as my older brother. So I'd go hang out with them, and they would like rent. We'd go like on weekends of sleepovers. They'd rent movies, and like a couple years older than me.
Remember renting movies?
So, yeah, we go literally go to Blockbuster and like look at now. So they would fuck
Buy
with me. They
candy.
would like rent horror movies, and I'd be trying to be tough, and I'm like, yeah, I can watch that. And I would shit myself, like be so scared. But I remember one time they rented, I think it was Eddie Murphy Raw, not Delirious, because they rented Raw the first time.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a kid. I must have been
Changed my
like
life.
9, and I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I didn't understand all of it, but I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen. And then a couple years later, I think I saw Delirious, which obviously Delirious came first, but I watched it. I was like, man, Eddie Murphy's a genius.
I saw it in the same order.
Yeah, I saw them in reverse, and I always thought that was the right order. I actually watched Eddie Murphy Raw the other day. I kind of dozed off watching it, but man, he is so talented, like so funny, so talented.
Yeah.
But then, I kind of got into it as a result of that. But to this day, I think my favorite comedian, is Dave Chappelle. I think I said honestly, like I don't know, maybe this is kind of generalization, but I think he is a modern day philosopher, which sounds crazy as a comedian.
He really,
the way he tells stories and the way he like comes to his conclusions, the way he looks at the world. Honestly, I think his brain is super gifted, and I think people like, I don't think people take him for granted, but I think when you look back at this time, people will realize that he might go down as like probably the greatest comedian or one of the top 3 of all time.
He does a lot more than just tell jokes.
Yeah.
Have you peeped his podcast, his new one?
No.
The Midnight Miracle.
It just come out?
Incredible. They just came out this year.
Oh, wow.
It's on the Luminary platform.
Okay.
And it's him, Talib Kweli, and Yassine Bey / Mos
Yeah.
Def. And they just have these conversations and they bring people in. But the way it's produced is like nothing I've ever heard in
Really?
my life. Yeah.
I'll have to check
you
it
gotta
out.
check it out. It's not a regular podcast. It's like a production with like music coming in and out and like
That's what we
effects
need.
and
That's cool. I
That's
gotta
what
check that out.
yeah, like there's one episode where he was telling a story. You know how he tells stories, but you can hear like they have the sound effects that like accompany what's happening.
So it's like produced.
And then like
That's cool.
it was a story about him and his wife, and then she starts talking, and then it's back to him. Like so dope. Man.
Okay, I'll
so
check that
dope.
out.
That man is a genius.
He
That man's
honestly, I
genius.
really think he is, and man, like even you want to talk about people who like really want to like. It goes back, and this is kind of a digression, but like people like just doing it for the passion of doing something and doing what you love. Man, like I'm not gonna do his story justice to tell it, but like I've heard it many times. Like he turned down Comedy Central and went off the face of the earth for like 10 years and like turned I think $60 million down, he said, or something. And I remember hearing this on like Joe Rogan and him telling the story once. Like he would go to Central Park. He would go to Central Park and like or not Central Park, a park in Cleveland with a speaker and just do stand up in the street to practice and like test his jokes, whatever. Like talk about like somebody. Sure, he probably had money, so he was comfortable.
No, he's good, but
he lives in his hometown in Ohio, where like he's a regular guy, like not about the money. He doesn't talk like he's some super hard to reach guy. Like I don't know. I just think he's so gifted. It's truly like a blessing to be able to listen to that guy talk and tell stories.
I hope to meet him and have a conversation sometime.
I think comedians
that
are
would
the best.
be cool. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past the chance of doing that. Like, President Toronto show, like he has always like.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cardinal is really, really good friends with him. I'm really good friends with Cardi, so maybe something will
manifest
line up.
it.
That's
maybe something will line up.
Put it in the universe. Hey, chase the legend. That's it.
Yeah.
Comedians to me they're the best storytellers. Like when they tell their jokes and they lead the crowd through a story, it's so great. Like Russell Peters still, it's probably Russell. That's probably the.
He is good. He's really
somebody's gonna get it or whatever that skit is.
Somebody gonna get hurt, whatever.
That's still to this day my absolutely like number one comedic skit. Number 2 is the Kevin Hart one with the grandfather Dick.
What?
Or I'm gonna butcher this, but long story. He was doing a spelling bee or something, and he's watching his dad walk through like in between the aisles, and his dad wasn't wearing boxers, so his dick was just flopping around.
I've never heard this joke.
Really, it's on.
I'll have to look it up.
It's on, I think, the second or third stand-up he has on Netflix. It's so funny. I'll show you after. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to these cookies because they're bomb. Cookies by Victoria.
Victoria, thank you so much. Big shout out.
These are awesome.
Victoria.
They were staring at me in the face. I'm like, while you guys were talking,
I couldn't wait.
I had to
grab eating them after.
We'll dig in afterwards.
I couldn't resist, so I had to jump in.
Yeah, guys, Cookies by Victoria. Check her out on Instagram. She was kind enough to bring us some cookies over. We'll give a little shout out at the end there as well. But yeah, check her out. If you want cookies, hit her up. Back to what we were saying, the only other one that I remember, the only comedy stand-up, I knew Eddie Murphy Roth by heart when I was younger. I don't remember a lot now. Robin Williams live on Broadway. My parents bought me that. I think we got it from my dad on DVD or something, and I watched it like I don't know how many times in a row.
Another genius.
And like I would, because I was this is like when I knew him as like he was an actor. I was like, this guy's on stage talking about like eating a girl, like women, and like golf, like sweat dripping down his ass playing golf, and I was like, this guy's so vulgar.
You know who's vulgar? And I saw live actually in Toronto. Bob Saget. Bob Saget is filthy, and I knew him from Full House.
Yeah.
The nice dad.
He seems like he's like.
What about him on Entourage too? I feel like that's like him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the real him. Yeah. So they showed like the real him. He said stuff that I was like, bro, you can't say that shit in front of people, bro.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He's raw. He is absolutely over the edge. No, and it was hilarious.
He's fun. The Robin Williams golf skit.
Oh yeah,
with the flag at the end.
We're gonna call it a stroke because every time you swing and miss, you feel like you're gonna fucking die. And we put the whole hundreds of yards away.
They put a little red flag
to give you a little bit of fucking hope.
And then they put some trees and some bushes in the way to fuck with your ball.
I see. Okay, you know it too. That was my favorite skit. I knew it all.
Yeah, I forgot.
I knew it off by heart. I was standing in front of I stood in front of my family at Christmas and I recited like half the like that skit specifically. He was. Anyways, comedians are genius. I actually saw. I got to see the only comedy show I've gone to see live, like big comedian, is Joe Rogan. I don't love his comedy. Like I super talented. I like his podcast. Like I listen. Like, not as much now. But I listen to a lot of his like good episodes, like Dave Chappelle and the big ones that I'm really interested in. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I saw him live. He's good storyteller, but like not my kind of comedy. Like again, I would rather see like I would go see Dave Chappelle, Russell Peters. I really want to see live. Yeah, a few other ones, but
live. Last one I saw live was Sebastian Maniscalco.
He's funny.
He is very funny.
I had no idea who he was, and then I heard he sold out. Funny. Like he sold out this place, Scotiabank Arena twice, 2 nights in a row or something. Yeah. Sold out MSG like 4 nights in a row.
He's really, really, really funny, and he's smart too. He does his research. Yeah. He's Italian. He came here and he talked a lot about Woodbridge.
Oh yeah,
and of course the Italians came out, so they loved it. And amazing. He's really funny.
He's good. It's funny because like his kind of comedy is like. When I first heard about him, I saw a bit of his stuff. I was like, "Oh, he's kind of like Italian Russell Peters." Because like everyone who has like their background that plays into the nationality, I
see where you're going with that.
You know what I mean? It's like very specific. Russell Peters has changed. Like he's not the same over the years. It's changed a lot. And I thought Sebastian Maniscalco was gonna be very Italian, but he does a lot of different things too. And his impersonations, they're so dramatic and like over the top. But
but I'm just fascinated by like somebody standing in a room with a microphone, keeping thousands and thousands of people like on the edge of their seat for an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's sick. That's
a
partially why I got into DJing. It's like everybody's here. I'm the one person. What I do affects everything that happens in here. Like I play the right song, this place goes crazy.
You play the wrong song.
You know what I mean? Not so much.
You'll head to the door quick.
Right.
Next 12.
But like that shit is just like, that's what drew me to performing. It's just that, I don't know if it's control, but like it's the energy in the room, and to be the conductor of that energy is like a dope spot to be in.
Well, on that topic, I did want to get to this point, especially because I don't want to shorten this point. Talk about some of those energy in the room. Playing at the ACC Scotiabank Arena is obviously one of the coolest things to do, especially if you're a DJ from Toronto.
For sure.
How'd you get that gig? How cool is it? What's the best part? What's the worst part? What can you tell us? What can you not tell us? Give us everything, because a lot of people that do know you will know you as the Raptors DJ.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Especially after what just happened
After
the last
getting
couple
them
of years.
rings, yep.
Exactly. Give us the whole story, because you've been the Raptors DJ for what, 5-6 years now?
Dude.
No, more than
Dude.
that.
More?
I'm going to season number 17.
Holy shit!
I didn't know it was that long. I was going to say
Yeah.
10, 17.
Since 05.
Wow.
Fuck.
Yeah, yo.
Wow. Okay.
I remember you used to, when you first started, you were on the side.
I've been all over the place, yeah.
It started in the that accessible seating
Yeah.
was when it started.
Yeah.
Because you were up, so my seats that I ever were, well, the old ones we had were in 112, I think, and you were up to this side. Right? 118,
I remember first it was a
17
small
or
little
something.
setup.
It was like 116 or something
Yeah.
like that.
And then it moved to like the tunnel, like on the bridge in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And they put the seats up the top.
Yeah. All over the place. Because that first spot, we weren't ever supposed to be there. You got to have those accessible spots available, even if there's no people to sit there. And when they got in trouble is when they had to move me. So that's when I went to the tunnel. Then I went up to the gondola, then all over the place. Where I am now, it actually covers a block of seats. They just built this massive DJ booth. And the reason why it's there, because they've been trying to do that for years. Like my guy there, my main guy, Anton, has been trying to convince the higher ups, yo, we got to do this. And they're like, oh, we don't want to like give up the seats. It's revenue.
12 seats, 14 seats.
Right. Until the reason why it got pushed through is when Drake came on board. He was like, yo, how you going to have 4 corners and people can't see them properly? And they're like, all right, get it done.
Okay, so
Really?
So thank you, Drake.
That's been like 6 or 7 years, and since you've been in that spot.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so
Something
that's
like
what
that.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Shout out to Drake. You want to come on the
Yeah.
pod? Get out of here. But that's
Yeah.
cool, though. That is like,
How I got it in the first place, it was manufactured luck, like we were talking about before. Right place, right time, right guy. I was DJing. I used to do a lot of work with Roots Canada, and they would do events at their Yorkville store when they used to have this massive Yorkville location, and they were
where
licensed.
where the Harry Rosen is now. Or no,
Right across from
next
that.
to,
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
Renfrew store where the whole Renfrew
Yes.
is. Yeah.
I remember some small side note about that. Last time I was there is when you remember One Love TO, they did that the Roots collab.
Yeah.
I remember I stood in line on Canada Day to get a Canada One Love TO
Yeah.
Sick.
on Canada Day at that store.
Yeah,
I waited in
man.
line for an hour and a half.
And you never wait in line for anything.
Never. I was like, half the money was going to charity too. I was like, I need this shirt. I'm gonna
No, it's
wait
a
in line.
big, sick company, sick show.
Hour and a half.
But that location was dope, and they were licensed, so they would have like these after hours parties with Roots.
Shout out
Shout out
Roots.
to
Dude,
Roots.
Dope. It was dope. It was like
That'd be a good
TIFF
sponsor.
parties, and like I did all kinds of events there.
It's a big venue.
Yeah.
Big space.
And this one night, I was doing this wine tasting event for some wine company. I can't remember which. VP of marketing from MLSC, which is the company that owns the Raptors, was at the party. Caught a vibe, liked what I was doing, me and my partner at the time, and slipped me her card. And be like, yo, they just seen that the Miami Heat had a DJ by the name of DJ Irie. Shout out Irie, first NBA DJ.
He was the first.
Yeah.
He still plays, I think. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we were there.
Their arena's crazy too. They got the club in the basement, the Hyde Club.
Yeah.
Oh, I went nuts.
It's dope. So Irie is first. They saw Irie. They thought that would be dope here. They didn't know who. She saw me and my partner, gave us her card. I harassed her for a few weeks, and we got it done to give it a shot. And after the first season, they were like, okay, we're gonna, we liked how it went. We're gonna do it again next season, and so on until now. It's like 17 years later.
I didn't know it was that long. Fuck, I feel old now. I didn't realize it was that long. Because if the one sport I go to the most, and I'm very fortunate, like shout out to Christos, my dad was diehard Raps. My whole family, but my dad's been a diehard Raps fan forever, and he used to take me to games for as long as I can. Now he I would go. of any sport I go to basketball the most.
Yeah.
And I would see like I could tell you where everything in that arena is with my eyes shut. I could walk across and find where you're standing with my eyes closed, but I remember like
Exactly.
it would always move around and like.
Yeah,
Fuck,
where I
man.
am now is the good spot. I'm
It's the
happy with
best.
where I am.
You're directly across. Actually, no, you're.
I'm right behind the
you're
home
bu-
basket, like raised.
Yeah, you're 112, 113, 112.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're across. Now I'm on the other
You're
side.
on the other
I face
side.
that way now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a good spot.
It's a great spot. I can't wait to get back. I cannot wait to get back. This last year has been weird of us not being there.
It's gonna be crazy in there.
It's going to be, everything's going to be crazy. Like everything that we're allowed to do, and I hate the word allowed in this case, but like everything that we're able to do that we haven't been able to do, everyone's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why the concert next week sold out in 3 minutes. I mean, it was free,
Doesn't matter.
but even if it was paid, I'm sure it would have sold out just as quickly. It was free because Cardinal wanted to give a gift to the, it's called Free the City.
Oh, that's
and it's
oh,
free. He
cool.
wanted like sponsors are involved, but
still.
like he wanted to give the people something to free up. So
who's at this concert on
so
June 30th?
Can you say it?
Is
Or
it a
no?
surprise?
well, we're only letting people know who the DJs are for now.
Okay.
And
Oh, so there's
gonna
more
be,
to it.
And there's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of surprise artists that
Cool.
you're gonna find out there. I think he said he's gonna like let a few names
Tease a
fly
little bit of it.
early in the week. He and I are going on CBC Radio next Tuesday, the day before the concert, to like talk about it a little bit more. So I think he's gonna
Sick.
let off a little bit of information there, but like
This is a big deal. So even like this is gonna come out on Monday. So like nobody can get tickets. There's no other way to wait in line. Nothing. It's sold out.
it's
Done.
gone. It's
Damn.
still a drive-in concert because we're not still able to do like
True.
proper
So
concerts
they gotta just
yet.
take the car. They get
So there's
spots.
only so many car spots
True.
available. I believe there's like less than 300. So
Do
3
they
minutes,
live
they're
stream
gone.
these at all anywhere?
Pardon me?
Do they live stream them at all or no?
That's a good question. We might. I'm gonna see if we can live stream.
If they do, let
The
us know.
show.
We'll drop the link in. Like yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Happy
that'd
to
be
share
cool.
it.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
gonna sneak in someone's pickup truck. Hi, sir. What's that thing in the back of your trunk? Oh, it's nothing. It's just
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No, that's
you
gonna
see
be
me
good.
like hiding with a little towel, a little face towel over my head.
Ring all over the
I'm
news.
looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
Sweet.
getting back in the arena with these games, touring, like all the stuff that we haven't been able to do. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to getting out and presenting all this music
Awesome,
that I've been
man.
making and like dropping more records. I dropped a bunch last year because I felt like I had to, because I'm sitting on my hands. I'm like, can't not put out music. And then I realized everybody at home, people need music. So I put
On the
music
phone all
out
day.
and the songs did really well. So I was like, okay, cool. It wasn't that bad.
Sick.
But it's not the same as being able to like put out a record and then go out and perform it and see people react to it. So I'm looking forward to
That's awesome.
that.
Like that moment you see people pull out their phone and Shazam.
Yes,
They're like,
exactly.
"What
And you're
song?"
like, yeah, that's my song.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels great.
I'm like that odd guy in the club. Like I'll be at a club and I hear a song I love and I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah.
all the time.
I have no shame. I
All
don't
the
care.
time.
Like, what are you doing?
As a DJ,
Shazam.
it's technically like bad form to do that. I don't care. I'm like, yo, you're sick, dude. You're playing a wicked record. I'm Shazamming you right now. Feel good. Feel good
I
about
feel like
it.
DJs would hate me when I came up DJing. I'd hear a song, like I'd look at the turntables and the guy would look at me. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking song. What are you fucking on the rights to this song?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like theirs. I'd be like, let me see. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, it's mine. I'm like, okay.
Some
whatever.
DJs are really funny about that.
It's true.
Some
It's
DJs
true.
are really, really funny about that. I'm not. I'm like, yo, you can have all the same songs as me. I'm still gonna play it better than you. So like,
there
That's
we
the
go.
truth.
go wild.
That's
Go
the
wild.
truth.
There we go.
I love that.
Go wild, bro. I've been doing this for a long time, man. I live this shit. I live
Good for
this
you,
shit.
man.
So I'm
You want to do this
excited.
forever.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I forget that I get paid to do this sometimes.
Love that.
Like at the end of the night when I've had a great show, I'm like, all right, sick. I'm, with the people, with my people, and like having a drink, getting ready, and then they come over with the envelope, or they come and tell me, oh, yo, the transfer's done, and I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Sick. That's
that's
how I know I'm
cool.
doing the right thing.
That's cool. Yeah, because you're at the end of the day, like the money's like a bonus. Like it's
It
like,
is.
it's
The fact that I can do this shit, like travel the world, make and play music, DJ at the Raptors games, and like earn a living doing this, a good living.
Dude, you're also you're the DJ of the NBA. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
Fucking 2019 NBA champions.
Yeah.
That banner will never
I have
leave.
a championship ring.
I was just about to ask that.
I have one of the replica fake ones. I was there opening night the next season.
Yeah. I got some of those too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
have those.
I bought like 6 of them.
Gotta
But
have those.
MLSC, the staff got a bunch of like people there got a bunch of
Yeah.
like the proper like replica, like not replica, but like the good, like, you know what I mean, the good ones.
No, I got a real one.
You got a real one?
Yeah, like not the exact same one that the players have,
But
because
still, like-
the players have like
It's like 20. Yeah, it's a
they're
lot.
yeah,
1,000 or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But I got like a good one. My name engraved in it and all that shit.
Oh shit!
Yeah, yo.
Good for you,
dude. I've been there 17 years.
You're part of the furniture at this point.
I am. I really am. I've been there longer than any player that we have on our team.
That's crazy. Good for you, man.
Ah, shit. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that right there. Boom.
Yeah, man. Had to. One of the best days of my life. I say it all the time.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
Where were you guys when we won the chip?
I still know exactly where I was. I'm pissed because not pissed. I heard it was the best environment to watch it. I was at home with my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. I was gonna go downtown and watch it with Ricky and my other buddy and co-founder Dave, but I had to go to Ottawa the next day for work on a train at 6 a.m. And I knew I should have canceled that train. I was like, but like as like it's my family business, I have to represent the company. So I was like, you know what, if I cancel, they might know why. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go regardless. I'm just gonna deal with this. I was on the couch with my mom. My dad was upstairs. My dad's a diehard. He's
well, that's what I'm saying. You're with your dad. So
pacing the house. He had to go upstairs by himself in his like room and lock the door.
Amazing.
He was getting like, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. I was like, just chill out, man. They're gonna win. My mom and I were together. So when they won, we were going nuts. And then that's it. Just like chill, like we celebrated, popped some champagne, chilled, went to bed, and that's it.
Dope.
His story's different.
So
you were downtown.
So I'll tell the whole story. Went to game 1 of the whole like playoffs. They lose to Orlando. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
I already had
like,
0 points. Everyone was like, "Oh man, here we go
everyone's
again."
panicking. I'm like, guys, it's
best
yeah.
Raptor, most important Raptor of all time.
Yeah.
It's one game. It's one game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone like settle. We got this.
Chill.
So you win 4 straight. So
Are you literally taking us back to the first game of the playoffs?
Yeah, so
we don't got fucking 2
Where
hours.
were you when we did?
I wrapped this up in 5 minutes. So went to 2 games out series. Second round went to 2 games again.
Okay.
Third round when
were
they
you at the game the Philly series?
So I wasn't at the shot. No,
I missed that one as well.
I remember where I was that moment though. Again, watching it with my parents, like crazy.
I watched it with my mom for that one too. Shout out to Anastasia.
And then Milwaukee series went to 2 games, including Game 7. They won. I literally cried.
Sick.
I was like, "This
we
is."
were sitting together.
We were sitting together.
Man, I remember there's people behind us trying to tell us to sit down. I'm like, "Yo, we're just about to make history." Like,
Not
she's
even
like,
wait. You go to the finals.
She's
You
like,
should be standing too.
We paid good money for this ticket. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, I'm 1 row below you, so that means I paid better money. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, so we won that. Then we went to, I think me and you went to one game.
I was at game 1 of the finals. I went to 3 games in the NBA finals. I was lucky. I got to go to game 1. I sat by myself because we have 4 seats. My sister and brother, because I went to like the games previously, they're like, we get dibs. I'm like, fair. I'm like, fuck that. I'm buying my own ticket because I didn't think we were gonna win the final. I thought we'd win, but like I'm like, you never know.
Yo, but it's the finals. You got to go.
So I was game 1. My 5 family. I sat by myself behind them. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole game. And you can keep
so
going.
I again went to game 1 too with my brother. Me and Georgie went down with our dads to San Fran to watch game 3.
Oh shit!
Like,
Okay.
I actually went to game 1, 2, and 3. I think.
I didn't go to game 2. I know that. I went to game
I
1.
think I
I
went
went to
with
game
clients
3
to
and then
game
game
2
5.
anyways.
So literally, me and my dad got stopped going down by like City TV, blah blah. We did a couple of interviews. It was super funny. Funny enough, you can actually Google that. You'll see my interview. So then I remember going to game 5 thinking they're going to win. They're going to clinch this. At home, the city's going to go
I was
nuts.
at game. No, I was at game 2.
We
game
all
5.
thought
And they
that.
lost.
We
And
all
it was
thought that.
heartbreaking. I just signed my condo that like a couple weeks before. So the game 6 was a Thursday night. I called my realtor. I was like, I need the keys. I need to move in Thursday. Because I was supposed to move in on the Saturday. I was like, I need to move in Thursday. They're going to win. My buddy Dave, one of our other good friends, he came to watch. I moved in. I got my bell set up at like 6 o'clock. Games at 8 o'clock or whatever. My couch was supposed to arrive at 6. The guy calls me. He's like, I'm running behind, blah, blah. We watched the first half of the game, like the first half on the floor. The guy calls me halfway through like the second quarter. He's like, "Cam downstairs." I'm like, "That's on you, bro. Bring the couch up yourself." He's like, "How am I supposed to carry him?" I don't figure it out. Like, I'm not leaving to watch this game. Game's on. So he comes up like, dude just carries my couch in like 3 pieces up like the elevator by himself, which is hilarious. They won. So we met up with some friends that lost and found that night. Went out with like the Loud Luxury Boys.
Yeah.
So we went out with them. So we were out from maybe 12 till 3ish. I got home around 3:30. I live on King Street. My balcony faces King. I heard King Street still going off. I tried to sleep. I'm like, I can't sleep. Grabbed a couple drinks, went back down. I was on King Street, King, Queen, Young, everything, till probably about 5ish, 6ish.
Yeah.
I remember showing up to work the next day, and everyone, again, a huge Raps fan too.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "You look like you slept for 2 hours. Like, go home." I remember I got shawarmas for lunch, and then I went straight back home.
Amazing.
I slept for like 12 hours.
Amazing. Well, I was DJing at Jurassic Park. And
that must have been fucked.
It was banana. I have videos from my phone. There's videos obviously from TV and stuff. It was amazing. I still, obviously we wish we won it in game 5.
Oh,
because it was at home and all that. But the shot was at home, so that's cool. It was just as good. I remember I played that. Drake and all the guys were on the stage. They sprayed champagne on my computer. I didn't care. I was like, so
Got
happy.
the ring. I'll buy a new laptop.
So happy. So happy.
Send Drake a bill
Went
for the
home.
laptop.
All right. Went home, threw my stuff down, and went outside. And it was just like I was on King Street till I don't know what time, just taking it in. Just taking in the vibes and just watching the city just go crazy. That was what it was like after every game. But like that night.
That night was nuts. I'll never forget
It's
that.
surreal. I'm just like watching Toronto go all the way up because the Raptors just won the championship.
Honestly, that was a surreal year. Honestly, I can't. But like, I never thought I would experience it in my lifetime. And if you ask me which team in Toronto I thought would win a championship first, like maybe like around 2013, 14 when I started like I've always followed sports.
Yeah.
But I would have said probably the Jays. They had a good run.
Right, and they've won a couple
So like
recently enough that like people know.
People remember.
and 2015,
Yeah.
16 they had a great team. I was like, wow, the Jays might win. I would have thought Jays. Then I would have thought Leafs because they got Austin Matthews. Then I would have thought Raptors. And the Raps are my team. I never would have thought. I'm like,
Well,
I
we
love
let them
DeRozan,
shitty
love Lowry.
years,
I'm like,
man.
he can't. We're not gonna win.
Yeah.
When that Kawhi trade happened, I'll never forget. And shout out to Dave. Hope you listen to this. He's like, this is the worst trade ever. Why would they give the guy he's been on the team? I'm like, are you an idiot? I was like, we took it like it's a gamble, but you're getting one of the best, if not a top 3 player in the league to pair with the most selfless point guard in the entire league. I'm like, this is the greatest trade ever.
Nothing but good.
And the craziest part of all that is somehow Masai Ujiri didn't win Executive of the Year that year. I think it was like Philadelphia or no, Milwaukee's GM won Executive of the Year. Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster made a trade, sold the guy
2 for 2.
Yeah, sold the guy who literally like was the heart and soul of this team, which has to be incredibly emotionally tough. Knew a guy was gonna probably leave, and said, you know what, we could probably win this year, and they won. Do you understand how big like your balls got to be massive to do a trade like that?
But see, this is the thing. A lot of people in Toronto did not know who Kawhi Leonard was because we don't get a lot of San Antonio games here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's also
They
West
didn't know.
West Coast kind of team, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they didn't know.
the time difference.
When I heard it, I was like, man, it really hurts to see DeMar go.
Yeah.
DeMar's our guy.
Yeah.
But like, if you get an opportunity to get a Kawhi Leonard, a LeBron James,
Steph Curry.
For 1 year, you take it,
like,
absolutely.
Those are those level of elite players. So it's like, yo,
It can change it.
and for just 2 players.
Dude, that's a Cinderella. If you actually think about it in history, like that's a Cinderella story. Like the shot was, if you actually like just to touch on this, the shot. What crazy to me? As soon as I saw it happen, I was with my mom at the same spot in the house. She like covered her eyes in the shot. I saw it bounce, and as soon as it hit the rim, I was like, "Oh, this is karma for Vince Carter missing." And I saw it bounce. It's the first thought in my head because it's the mirror image on the other side of the court.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it,
Same
and I wanted to,
team,
and I was like,
everything.
"Oh my God, this is the world. The world is conspiring right now."
Yep.
And it fell, and I was like, "Oh, this is a Cinderella story. They're gonna win." At that moment, I was like, "They're gonna win the playoffs."
The
Think
minute
about
that shot went
season.
in, it became real.
That season could be. You could make a movie out of it. Like if like that could be like Moneyball or Draft Day or whatever. That should be a movie. Anyways,
The thing about that trade is, and I remember arguing this with so many different people. They're like, oh, you fired Dwayne Casey, and then you traded like the heart and soul of your team. And I remember saying this. You know, like we had a couple great runs with those guys, you know, DeMar, Kyle, and Dwayne. Like Dwayne, coach of the year, first ever coach of the year to get fired.
Yep.
You knew that the Eastern Conference Finals and LeBron James was as far as we go. We cannot beat LeBron James, and we can't get
Not
past
with-
the Eastern
not
Conference.
with what we're doing
not
right
with
now.
what we had.
Yeah.
So to do something you've never done, you must do. Sorry, to go somewhere you've never gone, you must do something you've never done.
Facts.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like there's the Einstein quote about insanity.
doing the same
Yeah,
thing
the same
over and over, expecting different results.
So the idea that you have to make a trade, you have to gamble, because look, you don't play for second. You don't
No.
play for third. You don't play for Eastern Conference
No,
banners.
that's not good enough. And I
you
know
play for one
loyalty-
thing and one thing only, is to win.
Yeah.
That's what you play for. If you can't win with the team you have
gotta
to
make
take a
changes.
risk and either trade it. If it doesn't work, then you blow the whole squad up and you try again. You
Yeah.
rebuild. That's it.
Yeah, and I get loyalty. Loyalty is big.
It is big.
But it's also
And DeMar did resign, right, which was huge.
But it's also a business though. And like everybody involved knows it's big money.
Yeah.
It's a business.
And you gotta be loyal to your fans too.
You're also playing for. You remember Masai? Like you have to do it for the fans. You got to do it for the business, and you got to do it for like Masai Ujiri's career. So like, what he keeps playing and losing, then he gets fired.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can go anywhere, and people are gonna say, well, it's business over this, and players are gonna say, see, because everyone came out and said, oh, see, everyone talks about loyalty and they trade the guy loyal to you. okay, sure, but like he's making $40 million a year. Masai Ujiri doesn't win, he's fired too. Someone will hire him, but like everybody has to do something selfless at some point.
Yeah,
and it's just like to think. I don't know. I love
hey
DeMar.
man, we won though. So
The banner stays forever. No
we
one
won.
can
So that argument, there is no
Nobody
argument.
will nobody's gonna look back on that trade and say it was a bad trade.
And everybody, the best part is how many of those people who said it's a bad trade, oh, we should never have done that, DeMar's the heart and soul, we're in Jurassic Park or in the stadium in the finals, watching, cheering for them to win.
Yep, and doing the whole Kawhi and Dine thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just wish we re-signed him, and I think he's gonna regret. I think he's gonna regret not staying.
He should have stayed one more year.
They would have won it again. They would have ran it back. They would have ran it back 100%.
If he wanted to go home to California, I get it.
Same.
Like if I was an NBA player and I was playing anywhere but Toronto and I had the opportunity to play in Toronto,
you go back
100%.
Yeah.
But that opportunity would have been there from the following
So
year.
the thing is, you can't be mad at Kawhi for doing that because look how happy we were for Tavares coming home.
Yeah.
Tavares left New York, which is, he's a hockey city. Maybe not really, but the Islanders have a good run. He left his captaincy there to come home and play in his home. So when Kawhi did it, it's like, what are you going to do?
Any player who
you
can play for their hometown, that's the dream. You grow up watching these teams. Like that's why I'm I don't want to say worried. I don't know what's going to happen, but like if we end up moving Kyle, like if he ends up wanting to go somewhere because his contract is up,
he's unrestricted
whatever,
now.
He's unrestricted, yeah. If he ends up in Philly, it'll be that for him.
Yeah.
And I hate Philly, but Kyle Lowry to me, Kyle Lowry can do whatever the hell he wants the rest of his career. I will never hate him.
I have no problems with Kyle and whatever he wants to do.
He is, again, shout out to Dave, and I'll always rub this in his face. I said the year after we got Kyle, one of the first years after, I was like, Kyle Lowry's a top 5 point guard in the NBA. If I was building a team right now, I would take him over. I would take him over Kyrie. I would take him over a lot of guys because of the kind of person he is. Like he used to have this toxicity, whatever. Man, that guy. Show me anybody with more charges taken in the NBA in the last decade. He probably beats everybody. That guy is the bulldog of the team. And no matter what anyone says, Kawhi is the most talented Raptor ever. Kyle Lowry is the most important Raptor ever. Yep. We have not missed we missed the playoffs for the first time this year. It's the first is this year, yeah. First time in his career in Toronto, we missed the playoffs.
Yeah. He is the greatest Raptor of all time based on what he's brought to the team and led us to the championship.
I would love to see him. I honestly think he might go to LA and play with LeBron.
There's a lot of talk about that.
And I want him to win one more because then he's in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember when I told Rick he's going to the Hall of Fame, and Ricky said he's barely an All-Star. Shout out to Rick.
The reason I said he's barely an All-Star, if he was in the West that year when he made that, I said if he was in the West, he's not an All-Star.
It's subjective. The All-Star is a popular contest.
Yeah, it is subjective.
I'm saying you're saying voting. Caliber of player though.
No, we were saying is he an All-Star?
We were talking about caliber of player because remember you look the stats up after and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so we pulled up the stats for the last 5 years.
He's an All NBA player. He's more than an All-Star. He's an All NBA player.
Man, whatever happens, I just want him to be happy. Yeah, he deserves happiness.
Something like that.
He deserves happiness. He's done what he needs to do. He deserves happiness.
Kyle Lowry, if you hear this and you're in Toronto, you want to come on the podcast,
he brought us a ring. Like, again, that's a day that none of us will ever forget.
Never, ever, ever, ever. I'll show you guys a video after.
This is kind of fitting, and we are kind of near that point.
Yeah.
I
want to ask, do you want to give a preview of the song, or no, you got to keep it under wraps?
What do you mean, like from my phone?
Yeah.
Might not sound good.
You keep it sound good?
No. You can't make it
can't
sound
ruin
like
it.
That.
I was just asking. I thought I was just
July 7.
Okay.
July 7. 401 West, my group, with Ashton Adams, featuring Zach Zoya. It is called Won't Put You Through That. The song and the video are dropping. It's an incredible record. It's a house music record with an R&B feel, and I promise you're going to love it. So make sure you can pre-save it now, though.
Pre-save it.
401west.com. Pre-save
George,
it.
you know what to do. Put the link
in.
100%.
We'll share it when it comes out.
Kirk.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we ran into each other on the street the other day.
The universe conspires and leads us where we need to be.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does.
This is a fun conversation.
It has. Again, you get to see a different side of you. Like, we've met numerous times in nightclubs, again, with Georgie as well.
Yeah, and the clubs doesn't count.
It's different. It's different. Say, yo, what's up, bro? Quick shot. Oh, what's the song? Oh, you're not going to show me? Cool, bro. Like, it's the little things.
And we're all probably drunk anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So not exactly.
But it's good to actually sit down and get to see, get to chat more and get to really know who you are. We've got 2 questions we always ask every guest at the end of every episode. The first, if there was a movie about your life, who would you want to star as you? Could be anyone from any point in time.
Oh, man. That is an incredible question.
Thank you. I've asked it 140 times.
If I could, it's not possible any further, but Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, great answer.
Great
Yeah.
actor.
Just phenomenal.
Becomes whatever role it is that he plays, and I think that he would do a bang up job.
And did you know this too, that when he was battling his cancer, he didn't let a lot of his co-stars and co-workers know?
Yeah.
I think
He-
nobody, only the
Yeah.
president of Disney or whatever, the head of Disney knew.
Yeah, he didn't want anybody to know because he didn't want any extra attention. He didn't want anybody to treat him differently. Like that's
Great man.
It gives me chills just thinking about that. That's like the type
Damn,
of
you
person.
can actually see your chills from
like
here.
man, crazy.
Fuck.
Man, it gave me chills just thinking about that because that's a true
Selfless.
like amazing person.
Yeah.
You know, he put everyone else in front of him, even though he's battling what is arguably one of the toughest things in the world to battle.
Oh, you're in your deathbed essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the only thing you may like most people would want is like the attention, love, and admiration before they go. And like
No,
I
he
wanted
just
none of
wanted
it.
to-
And
he
the
just
best
wanted
thing
to
is
accomplish
his
more.
role in
Crazy.
Black Panther 2, he was jacked.
Yep.
Like, let's not take away from the fact that he was jacked.
How hard must that be? Like he must have been like, yeah.
you
I
see
can't even
people have
imagine.
cancer, they lose all their weight, they can't work out, they can't do anything, especially if you're doing chemo, which he was.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyways, that's a
Rest in
phenomenal
peace.
answer, Kurt.
Absolute first choice. Yes.
Love that.
Love that.
Great answer.
Last question: if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Honestly, travel. Traveling has been the one thing beyond everything else that I've done that's like really changed me and grown me as a person. And I really started traveling like crazy not soon enough. Like I've spent a lot of money on other things. And I wish that I could go back to like my 15-year-old self and be like, yo, you don't need those sneakers. You know, a couple years later, you don't need that car. You know what I mean? You don't need that jacket. You plane tickets.
Yeah.
Buy plane tickets, travel, grow yourself. And like it's given me the most perspective. And perspective is everything. The way you see things is it's the way they are.
Absolutely.
Great answer.
Love that.
I know you said don't buy those shoes. What kind of shoes you got on? Those are fire.
Oh, honestly, I don't even know which they are. These are Adidas joints that I picked up on the weekend. I like those ones. I don't know what they are to like tell you what name
Those
they
are fire.
but I like
They
them
are
a lot.
sick.
Thank
I
you.
love those. Buy those shoes. That's it. Kirk, thanks for coming on. If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, your new projects, where can they go? How can they find you?
4Korners.com, number 4 corners with a K. And now 401west.com, 401wst.com.
Love
And
it.
I think George might have asked, but I don't remember the answer. The name 401 West has anything to do with 401 highway?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like mad geographical when I come to my names because, like I said, traveling in the world and all that. 4 Korners, I call myself 4 Korners because my goal was to travel the 4 corners of the earth.
That's what I thought. I didn't know that before, but as soon as I was saying that,
so
I got
was that. My label, I started a label and lifestyle brand called Jane Shepherd because I grew up at Jane and Shepherd in North York. And 401 West is because Ashton's from Cambridge, and I take the 401 West to get there,
cool.
and that's where we've made the majority of our records.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
401 West also sounds like a great name too.
Dude, the branding and everything is so fire.
Like I hate
So
driving to the
dope.
401, but when I hear 401 West, I'm like, oh, that sounds
hates
cool.
driving on
Yeah.
401. And
And
mind you, you got a lot of people driving on it, and they're stuck in traffic, so they got lots of time.
They
to
have time to listen to music.
That's it.
makes
And you
sense.
associate a lot of traffic on that highway. You see 401 West, oh shit.
Exactly.
401
And
West.
then also like we're from here, but like when we travel the world and like take the music globally, it's a piece of Toronto for people to be
That's
like,
cool.
okay, that's where they come from. Sick.
Love that. Love that. New song, July 7th.
July 7th
Pre-save it now. Guys,
at
love
the
y'all.
link.
That's it. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Give our friend Kirk a follow your pals. And that's it. Sign off. Until next time, guys.
See you guys.